Okay, let's go check out our dear old grandmother.
Gabriel, I'm so glad you stopped by.
Oh, sorry it's been a while, Grandma.
Not at all. Give me a kiss.
Now come on, sit down. Tell me how you're doing.
Put some effort into it, Gabriel. Alright, so let's start looking around.
Granny likes soft lighting. Granny likes the lamps lit. Mostly pictures of Gabriel, his dad, and Harrison Knight.
His dad being Philip Knight, assuming nothing has changed, and Harrison Knight being our grandfather.
Gabriel is sentimental enough without dragging those photos into it. Grandmother Knight rarely uses the fireplace these days. Too much of a hassle to clean.
I'm definitely not a fan of the wooden floor. Give me carpet any day of the week, please.
Fresh carnations, Granny's favorite. That clock has been in the Wright family, Granny's family, for centuries. Granny doesn't like anyone messing with her clock, including Gabriel.
Alright, so who are these two?
On the wall are portraits of Gran and Granddad when they were young. Gabriel's inherited some good-looking genes.
He has. He has indeed.
Gabriel grew up in this room. Just being here makes him feel safe. And after about 5 minutes, claustrophobic.
So that's Harrison Knight and that's Rebecca Rice.
Gran's knitting. She whips through that stuff like there was no tomorrow. Steal Granny's knitting? How low can you get?
I just want to look at it. I'll give it back.
Gabriel doesn't knit? Okay, so Gran did teach him once, but he hasn't done it in years.
And he will have forgotten for sure.
Granny likes soft lighting. Granny's side chair still has that annoying loose spring in the seat.
Yeah, all the guest chairs are uncomfortable. The one in Mosley's office, the one at Kazanar's place, and this one.
Make yourself at home, son.
Get your exercises in, Gabriel. What about this sofa?
The sofa has a worn blue chintz pattern that Gabriel remembers fondly. Gabriel doesn't want to crowd Granny. He prefers the chair.
The lower half looks like it's starting to wear out. Granny.
That's my Gran. Adorable as always.
Oh, you're such a tease.
He's being polite.
Hey, that's my Gran. Show some respect. How have you been, Gran?
Just fine, dear. I'm sorry I bothered you at work, but, I was hoping you'd get a chance to go through your father's things in the attic.
Don't be silly. You can call me anytime.
So in the original, we could do this on day 1. As in the remake, we have to wait until day 4. Alright, so I have a bunch of very disturbing subjects to ask you. We could be here a while. Well, with everyone we're going to be here a while. Unfortunately, it is a hallmark of this game.
What can you tell me about voodoo?
Voodoo? What an odd question, Gabriel. Of course, you always were interested in monster movies and all that other weird stuff. You get that from your father and granddad. I don't know anything about it, dear. Of course, it was very big in New Orleans at one time, but you don't hear so much about it these days. Too much else in the world to worry about, I guess.
Have you read the paper lately?
What can you tell me about the voodoo murders?
Oh, Gabriel, nothing. And I don't want to. I sometimes wonder what this world is coming to.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
New Orleans is very southern, of course, though not as much as it used to be when I was a girl. It's gotten much more influenced by the East Coast and that California stuff. Still, it hasn't changed as much as other places, I reckon. We've always been happy here.
What can you tell me about New Orleans?
My goodness, boy, you lived here all your life, just like me. I can't tell you much that you don't already know.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
St. John's Eve? I remember when I was a girl, we always had a St. John's Eve Mass. The Mass was said at midnight, and we held candles. One time, on the way home, we were waylaid by a large group of drunken revelers. They didn't hurt us, but oh, I was frightened. My father was furious. We never went to St. John's Eve Mass after that.
And unfortunately, it's taken on a whole different meaning.
What can you tell me about St. John's Eve?
I haven't celebrated it in years, Gabriel. I'm sure there's still Mass in the more traditional churches, but I don't go.
Have you ever heard of Marie Laveau?
Marie Laveau. Oh, of course. She was that voodoo woman, wasn't she? She preyed on people's fears and superstitions, is what I think. There are always those willing to take other people's money for nothing. You stay away from people like that, Gabriel.
Yes, Gran.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm reasonably certain she's dead. I think.
Do you know anything about snakes?
Snakes? What kind of snakes, dear?
I don't know, local kinds.
Well, we used to get cottonmouths in the park when I was a girl, but I haven't heard of one being sighted for years. Milk snakes and garter snakes are also around these parts, but they can't hurt you.
Thanks, Gran. Do you know anything about animal masks?
Why, no, dear. Do you mean Mardi Gras masks?
Never mind, Gran. Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Gabriel, my goodness. What are you up to these days?
Research.
Oh, nothing, Gran, really.
You'd better not be. You know you're the only family I have left.
I know, Gran. It's okay. Do you know anything about black voodoo?
I don't know much about any kind of voodoo, Gabriel.
Does the phrase Cabri Sanko mean anything to you?
Something without something, I think. Oh, my French is so rusty, I swear my mind is going.
No, it's okay. Thanks.
Right, so this is confusing. I believe we needed to know the phrase Cabri Sancour to get through the previous day with Casimir. But in the OG, we can learn about Cabri Sancour a bit earlier, and we can obviously speak to Granny a bit earlier on day one. And the moment we learn about it, we can ask these questions. So we ask all the other characters about Cabri Sancour until we reach Hartridge, and then get the solution. It's just odd to me that we can ask this, even though we've already got the answer. It made sense in the first game because of how that was structured. This game flips it a little bit, and it's made it so that we can only speak to Granny on day 4. I'm kind of surprised that's still an option, to be honest.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
What, dear?
Never mind.
Gotta say the same about Damballa.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
What, dear?
Never mind. What's new, Gran?
I've been working on baby sweaters for the church bazaar. Keeps me busy.
Done anything interesting lately?
I raised you.
Lately, Gran.
Oh, you know me, Gabriel. I always got my nose poked in something.
It must run in the family. You're looking well, Gran.
Oh, thanks, dear.
That's a compliment.
Is there anything you need?
Me? No, I'm just fine, Gabriel. I have more than enough of everything.
Nice weather.
Oh, Gabriel, please. It's been just awful. Muggiest summer of my life.
I was being sarcastic, Grandma.
Are you okay, Gran?
I'm right as rain, boy.
You know, you get prettier every time I see you.
Oh, you.
Have you baked any of your incredible molasses pies lately?
No, dear. But you let me know when you want some and I'll whip up a half a dozen.
You've lost weight. Are you courting a new man?
Oh, Gabriel, don't be silly. You know there'll never be anyone but your granddad for me.
Your hair looks very pretty today, Gran.
Well, thank you, dear. Well, you've always had such nice, thick hair, Gabriel.
Oh, come on. Be nice.
You know, I always tell people that my Gran is the prettiest grand old belle in the city.
Oh, dear. You shouldn't talk so.
And now we're just flat out lying because we haven't seen that in-game at all.
Tell me about yourself.
Me? Surely you have something more interesting to talk about.
No, come on, Gran.
Oh, all right, dear. What do you want to hear?
Oh my god, I have regrets.
What do you do all day?
You know how I love to knit and work in my garden. I also take long walks. It's the only way to keep an old body like mine from stiffening up.
You're not old.
Oh, don't be foolish. I'm older than the hills.
Tell me about before you met Granddaddy.
Well, you know I was born Rebecca Wright.
Yep.
My daddy owned a lot of land outside of town. We grew peas and corn and cotton, all kinds of things. It was a good childhood, but my father was very strict. He didn't much let me out of his sight.
I believe the father's name was Franklin, possibly Knight or Wright, not sure. Wright would make sense, but for whatever reason I wrote down Knight in quotes.
Tell me how you met Granddaddy.
Oh, I met Harrison at a church revival. There was a traveling preacher back then, a big fella named Reverend Jim. I even remember his slogan, "Come to me to find your way." Your granddad was sitting right behind me and my girlfriend, Alma. And at one point, old Reverend Jim was flinging his hair around with his fine brimstone annex. And a piece of it, one of those small add-on do's for men, went flying off. I swear, Harrison and I were the only ones that noticed. We both started laughing to beat the band. Everyone looked at us like we were a couple of loonies. Oh, it was then I knew that he was for me.
How you feeling these days?
Fit as a fiddle, and don't you worry your head about it.
Just tell me anything at all.
I had your father when I was 22. The doctors told me I couldn't have any more after him, so I'm afraid I spoiled him rotten.
That would be Philip.
Just tell me anything at all.
I hate to admit it, but I was a jealous little thing when your granddaddy and I were younger. I loved him so ferociously, and he did attract the eyes of the ladies whether he wanted to or not.
Just tell
I get lonely sometimes, but I have lots of girlfriends in the neighborhood. I call one of them if I'm feeling blue.
Just tell
I wish you'd settle down and give me a great-grandchild.
Oh, Gran.
Yeah, we are the last of our line.
Just tell me anything.
I never loved any man but your grandfather. And I never will.
But you love me, surely.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, dear.
Alright, so let's ask about the Knight family tree.
Tell me about our family.
Who would you like to hear about? Your granddad, your father, or your mother?
Oh my god. Let's ask about our mum, Margaret Templeton.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother was Margaret Templeton when your father met her. She came from a very wealthy Creole family in New Orleans. She was beautiful and reckless. She was madly in love with your father, of course, but I also think she liked to find her family.
Tell me about my mother.
Your mother's family refused to give her money after the marriage. All she had left was a modest trust fund from her great aunt, who happened to like Philip. The remainder of your mother's trust fund became yours when she died. That's what you used to open your bookshop.
You mentioned Creole. I wonder if Kazanu is related in any way. Or knew her, perhaps.
Tell me about my mother.
The Templetons are all gone now. Every last one of them. Oh, they never wanted anything to do with us, of course. What a waste.
Dang. Okay, Daddy.
Tell me about my father.
Your father was my only child. How we adored him.
Tell me.
Philip suffered from terrible nightmares, just like your granddad did. Oh, they were two peas in a pod.
I suppose maybe it's not a good idea to tell you that we've been suffering nightmares for a week as well.
Tell me.
When Philip met your mother, oh, it was love at first sight. They were married 2 weeks later. Never looked at a girl seriously until then, and he looked at plenty. You have your father's way with women, Gabriel. And your granddad's.
I'm sorry, married after 2 weeks? 2 weeks of courtship? No, just no.
Tell me about.
I wanted to just lay down and die when he and your mother were killed in that car crash when you were only 8. It was the thought of taking care of you that kept me going, Gabriel. The police say your father swerved off the road after being frightened by something. Perhaps a deer in the road, or wildcat.
I don't recall hearing that in the OG. So our parents died when we were 8. That's rough.
Tell me about.
Your granddad wanted Philip to have a normal life. He was obsessed by that thought. He pushed Philip to go to law school, but Philip was driven to art. He painted almost in a daze. He would get so inside himself when he worked. He always hated that it was Margaret's money that supported the 3 of you when his painting couldn't. I kept telling him, try something more cheerful, like a landscape or two, but he couldn't do it. His work was just too dark and disturbing for the public, you know.
He was a painter. And his subjects were too dark and dank for the public. Okay.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad immigrated to America when he was 21. He walked his way through school, met and married me, and we had your father, Philip. Since you're so interested in family history these days, why don't you go by St. Louis Cemetery No. 1 and visit the family tomb? It would be such a sweet gesture.
It's just past the Ross tomb, right? Oh, maybe I will.
It's labelled very clearly on the map. I think we'll do that once we've been upstairs, tried to open the clock, and maybe spoken to you again.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Your granddad supported me and your father with bookkeeping. Oh, I tell you what, though, he hated every minute of it. Didn't really like bookkeeping one bit. Maybe that was why he had the worst luck with jobs. Oh, the nights he'd come home afraid to tell me he lost another. And I'd tell him it didn't matter to me, but he felt ashamed, Gabriel.
Tell me something.
Harrison was only 36 when he died.
Oof.
Your father was 8 years old at the time. Your granddad was hit by a streetcar in the business district. It took me nearly a year to believe he was really gone.
I'm sorry, Gran.
Oh, I know you are, dear.
You've been going on like 30, 40, maybe 50 years without your partner. Jesus.
Tell me something about Granddad.
Did you know that your granddad was a poet? He was. He wrote the most beautiful poetry for me when we were courting. I always thought he should have done something with that gift, but he was such a practical man. Didn't believe in chasing after dreams.
He writes poetry. That, kids, is what we call a clue.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, dear.
Okay, let's go check out the attic.
I'm gonna go up to the attic, Gran.
Be careful of the dust.
You've taken up about 20 minutes of my time. Let's go see what's up here. Any paintings? Possibly. But I see that clock and I'm already getting triggered.
These old picture frames have been up here for years.
I think I'll leave that up here.
The old velvet curtains hung in the parlor before Gran lightened the place up.
I think I'll leave that up here.
It's an old dusty bicycle tire.
I think I'll leave that up here.
It's more a wheel than a tire, but okay.
It's a lady's hat from the 1920s.
And from Gran's Virginia Woolf period. I think I'll leave that up here.
No, take that back with you, Gabriel. Do some cosplay in your room. They'll like it.
It's Granddaddy's old golf bag. Golf was never my game. I'm not sure what my game was, but it wasn't golf.
You can use those as weapons, perhaps.
It's an old dress dummy that Gran had in her sewing room years ago.
My first impression of the female form.
That's where it all started.
Do I really look that desperate? I think I'll leave that up here.
Grandma's attic is a storehouse of forgotten treasures and useless junk.
Apparently it's cloudy and overcast outside, but honestly, this looks beautiful.
A skylight lets welcome sunlight into the attic.
It's a lovely day outside.
That box of knickknacks has been up here for at least 5 years.
What's in there?
There's nothing I want in there.
Damn it, you didn't even look.
The sheet-covered upholstered rocker used to be in Gabriel's nursery.
I wonder if Gabriel sat in that thing.
I think I'll leave that up here.
Alright, fine.
The old trunk looks like it's gone to hell and back. The brass bed frame is from God knows where.
I think I'll leave that up here.
Anything?
There's a lot of Granddad's old stuff in here. Might be something interesting.
I see a picture of a doggo. A stein. That's odd, but okay.
More of Harrison Knight's German books.
Just what I need.
A bundle of letters. Love letters between Harrison and Rebecca.
You should take those down and show them to her. She would like that, I think. There's got to be something under one of these, surely. We can look at that picture. There's a key.
What's this? It's some sort of key.
Some old clothes, including a pair of leather shorts.
Aren't those called lederhosen?
I believe so. My German's not that good, though. Okay, we found a key in here. The clock key.
It's an antique clock key, most commonly used to wind antique clocks.
I don't suppose it will be related to this clock just here.
An elaborate mechanical clock, probably of German origin, is among the discarded treasures of the attic.
I think I'll leave that up here.
Oh my god. I'm still salty about this.
A keyhole sits empty on the side of the clock. There's an interesting design in the base of the clock.
It's clearly a drawer. It's got a handle, you can pull it towards you. It's not the sort of handle which you'd use to pick up the clock and carry it around.
The face of the clock is hand-painted. A ring of 6 symbols surrounds the face of the clock. A sword, a sun, an angel, a noose, an eclipse, and a dragon. The ring of symbols doesn't appear to have any mechanical function, but it does move.
I see, I have to hold it down and then drag it. That's much cleaner than the original game. Yeah, I don't know. Let me just make a save very quickly, and I'll click the hints. I definitely took a look at those while you weren't looking, and the previous day mentioned something about, did you make an impression with Kazanu? That was well before I got in there, before I found the priest collar. Where is it? Here? No, definitely not there. Oh my god. There's so much stuff in there, I'm not going to go looking in there though, otherwise I'm going to get sidetracked. How do I open this antique clock? Need to set it to the right time and symbol. Notice any patterns? You know. I can see that's filling up over time, so that's basically the game's way of saying, fuck you, you can't just figure out the answer instantly. You need to wait a while to actually read this, give it some thought, and then, maybe if I fill in the dead air for long enough, we'll be able to learn the answer. Yeah, I don't buy that. I really don't buy that. It's literally saying that it's connected to... one moment, I'm pushing the wrong buttons. Hopefully that doesn't cause any audio problems when I do some editing later. But I really don't buy that. Dry Drachen, being the poem that we read in our bookstore, is basically the key to open this. And it's telling me to directly set it to 3 o'clock. Three, like that. But why would... Where's the dragon? Why would this work as opposed to that? I mean, I get that we can't point both hands at 3, that doesn't quite work. But you could maybe point them around there perhaps and then put the symbol there.
Nothing happens.
I find this puzzle very obscure. And there's nothing locking in place or the like to say, yep, okay, I've got something correct.
Nothing happens.
I don't know. This to me is also a very weak point of the game.
The key winds the clock's mechanism.
Granddaddy, you old fox.
How would Gabriel know this? I refuse to believe he'd make the connection that some random dude in the bookstore wrote something. Although, I guess the one thing I could go back and check is whether he says anything different about the fact that we have a book written by Heinz Ritter, given that Wolfgang is claiming to be family. But we couldn't call Wolfgang to check. The whole thing just seems very poorly written as far as that puzzle is concerned.
A secret drawer has opened in the base of the clock.
Alright, so let's take a look at the photo and the letter. Let's have a look.
The old photograph shows Gabriel's grandfather with 2 other men that Gabriel has not identified.
Oh, look at this number?
Wolfgang Ritter's phone number.
Yes. I read about the scroll.
The back of the photo has the following written on it. Schloss Ritter, 1925.
It's still spelling the double S with 2 S's. That'll make more sense when we look at the sequel, I promise.
The letter is written in German, but Gabriel determines what he can about it. It was sent from a place called Schloss Ritter in Rittersburg, West Germany. The letter is addressed to mein Sohn Heinz and signed Wilhelm Ritter. One of the reoccurring words strewn throughout the letter is the word Schattenjäger. The only other thing that Gabriel can decipher about the letter is a sense of urgency in the handwriting and in the heavy use of a quill tip, bold strokes and underlining.
So nothing new there. Someone called Wilhelm has a son called Heinz.
The old photograph the letter is... It was... one of the only...
Okay, let's go downstairs and ask Grandma about this. What does she know?
Can we talk, Gran?
Of course, my boy. How can I help?
What is a Schattenjäger?
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Schottenjäger? Schottenjäger? Oh, how odd, Gabriel. I haven't heard that word in years. My goodness, you've given me a chill. Your granddad used to say that sometimes in his sleep.
Really? Do you know what it means?
No, I'm afraid not. I asked him about it once. I don't think he answered me. Odd.
Huh. Thanks, Gran.
You say you haven't heard it in years? It would be more like decades.
Do you know anyone named Heinz Ritter?
Heinz Ritter. Oh, Gabriel. Where did you hear that name?
I found a letter in Granddaddy's clock.
Oh, I promised I'd never tell you or your father, but I suppose it doesn't matter now.
Because they're dead.
Tell me, Gran.
Your granddad's name was Heinz Ritter before he came to America. He changed it to Harrison Knight legally when he arrived.
Alright, tell me more.
Why did Granddad change his name?
I don't know. I tried to ask him about his family and his life before America, but he didn't want to talk about it. He never even told me about his name change. I found out one day when I saw his passport in a drawer.
Dang.
Since he obviously found it painful, I never questioned him about it. But I'm sure it wasn't trouble with the law. Your granddad was the best man I ever knew.
Didn't Granddad ever say anything about his past or his family?
Only that his family was crazy and that he never wanted to see them again. He believed in some family curse. Thought that he could spare Philip and Philip's children from what he called old nightmares. Whatever Harrison wanted to spare you, though. Oh, it cost him plenty. He never did sleep well, and he would often get a far-away, guilty look in his eyes. He was wrestling with something he thought he should be doing, someplace he thought he ought to be. I don't know how he could think that he should be anywhere but with me and our child. It's a terrible way to live.
And the worst part is, it didn't really help. We're having nightmares, and Daddy had nightmares as well.
Do you know anyone named Wolfgang Ritter?
Wolfgang Ritter? Oh, no, dear.
Huh. Odd.
As I said, your granddad's surname was originally Ritter.
Again, that is odd. We could ask Gran about Wolfgang before we learned that information about Heinz.
Oh, nothing. Never mind.
All right, dear.
And yet that dialogue is included there. Okay, I might as well show you what I found. Do you know any German?
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
No, dear. I'm afraid I don't speak a word of German.
Vielen Danke? Das.
Does this mean anything to you, Gran?
That one in the middle is your grandfather. Those other two, I don't know.
The back of the photo has the following written on it.
Right, but can we ID anyone now?
The old photograph shows Gabriel's grandfather with two other men, apparently his German father and brother.
That's a bit of a leap at this stage, but that is correct. Okay, well I guess we can call Wolfgang now.
Well, Gran, I'd better get going.
Thanks for stopping by.
No problem. Love you, Gran.
Indeed. Let's go check out the tomb. I don't know whether we'll learn anything here or not though, other than just getting context for the names. For the names in our family tree.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah? What can I do for you?
Can you tell me anything about these, please?
What's the significance of St. John's Eve?
Why, St. John the Baptist is the patron saint of voodoo. Sometimes we get weird goings-on in the cemetery on that night. More often on a few nights before. People taking grave dirt, bones, and who know what.
That's pretty disgusting.
Yep. Don't know what they do in them, but it can be pretty.
What's the significance?
I told you all I know about that.
Do you have any idea what Caprice Sankal means?
Nope. Can't say that I do.
And we're not going to explain it.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
I don't know nothing about that.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? I've seen lots of voodoo markings in this cemetery. I've seen graves dug up and stuff you don't want to know about stolen from them. But voodoo? Black voodoo? Sounds like a devil of a distinction, if you ask me.
Do you know anything?
I told you, it's all one to me.
And to most people, I guess.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know anything about animal masks?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
One more.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Nope, can't say that I have.
Dang it. Okay, after God knows how many videos, I can finally go this way. The family tomb.
An odd monument highlights one gravesite. It looks vaguely reptilian.
That was in the OG as well.
The marble residents of this city of the dead say nothing. This family tomb bears the inscription, "Rest in peace," and the name Fullermill. Gabriel doesn't care to communicate with the inhabitants of that tomb.
Or indeed any inhabitants. Come on, dude. What is this? A squirrel?
The marble and granite tombs are quite heavy. This above-ground tomb is only large enough to accommodate one resident. Gabriel doesn't care to communicate with the inhabitants of that tomb. The marble and granite... A wrought iron fence surrounds this tomb.
I hope that's to keep people out.
A statue of a small child clings to a cross atop the right tomb.
Anyone we know?
The marble resident... Someone has left a small vase by the Wright family tomb.
Not sure who else comes here besides me and Gran, but that was nice of them.
I wonder if we can actually pay our respects. Ah! Like, maybe we can put a flower in that vase for some points. Okay, well I can just make out the names on this tomb. We have Franklin Wright. That one's hard. Merrill Planter Wright. Harley. Harrison. I'm reading the name at this point. And then Margaret Templeton below, and then Philip. Alright, so that's our mother.
DeMarco reads, Margaret Templeton Knight.
My mother.
Gabriel doesn't want to take the nameplates from his family tomb.
Alright, so I won't try that for the others.
Miss you, Mom.
Daddy.
DeMarco reads, Philip Knight.
Daddy. Hey, Daddy. Hey, Daddy.
Granddad.
DeMarco reads, Harrison Knight.
Granddaddy. How's it going, Granddaddy? Oh, shoot. Huh. Looks like someone left something in that vase.
That was unexpected. Wow. Harley, I believe that is Rebecca's sister. That is our grandmother's sister.
DeMarco reads, Harley Wright.
Gran's sister. She died young. Gran talks a lot about you, Harley.
And then these are grandmother's parents.
DeMarco reads, Merrill Planter Wright.
These are Gran's folks. I never knew them.
DeMarco reads, Franklin Wright.
These are Gran's folks. I never knew them. Hi. I'm Rebecca's grandson.
Much as when they were alive, the Wright elders give no response.
Oof.
Hi.
Much as when they were alive.
Okay. What the hell is this? That's how we get the money?
Inside the broken vase, Gabriel sees a $20 bill.
Yeah, okay, we still need to get the 100 from elsewhere, but that's the additional 20.
Looks like it's my lucky day.
That's a very strange change. Nothing else here? No, spacebar's doing nothing. We are rich, Gabriel. Who would leave $20 here, though? Alright. Let me just go back to the bookstore right quick, because I want to see, firstly, if we get an interaction with Bruno. But secondly... Never mind, I'll hold on that thought.
Hey, kids!
Bruno, how nice.
Gee, a customer.
Of yours? Hardly.
How's the flower business?
Well, better than the used book business, I see.
Rare books.
That explains why I so rarely see anyone in here. Are you gonna sell me that wonderful painting of yours today?
It's unfortunate, but I have to do it.
How much would you give me for it?
Oh, you're serious? You'll let me have it?
Gabriel, don't you dare sell your father's painting.
Yeah, I'll let you have it all right. How much for the painting?
Well, I could give you 100. That's all I can let go at the moment, you know. My affairs are so tied up.
Gabriel, $100 for your father's painting?
Stay out of this, Grace.
We have to do it.
Fine. It's yours.
Gabriel!
Here's the 100.
Yeah, it feels like we're being fleeced here. It feels like it should be worth much more.
You better take good care of this, Bruno. This is not just another of your hip art pieces, you know.
Really? Well, I fully intend to make the most of its display. Though not for your sake, I'm sure. At least in my shop, there'll be a chance of someone actually seeing it. I can't believe I actually got it. Just wait until I show Sid.
They kept the FF reference in the remake.
I don't believe you.
It's just a painting, Grace. There are things I have to do.
And that makes a lot more sense now, I guess, that we spoke to Gran and she said that father was a painter.
That wall sure looks bare without Daddy's painting.
It's alright, Grace will purchase it back. Anyway, second thing I wanted to check was this. Did we say anything about Heinz Ritter now?
A book of German poetry that once belonged to Gabriel's grandfather. Gabriel has always found it strangely compelling.
Belonged to Gabriel's grandfather.
Gabriel selects a...
Drei Drachen kriegen in meinen Schlaf, die Seele wühlen sie, lebendig zum Fraß. Feurigen Atems, gespaltener Zunge, genießen sie jedes Mal.
That's nice. Kinda creepy, though.
Here we go.
Who's the author?
Let's see, Heinz Ritter. Heinz Ritter? No wonder it gives me the chills. I have the feeling old Granddad didn't sleep too well at night either.
And Grace, just so you know, Heinz Ritter is our granddad. He wrote this. He was a bit of a poet, apparently.
Got a minute, Grace?
What's up?
Have you ever heard of a Schattenjäger?
No. Is that a voodoo word?
We don't know.
I don't think so. It's German.
No, sorry. I don't speak German.
We don't know for certain if it's a voodoo word or not. Alright, we are rich, so I think what I'll do is I'll purchase that mask. And then I'll have a chat to Mosley.
I'm going out.
Don't hurry back on my account.
Compared to some of the other days, so far, day 4 seems relatively long.
Hi.
Alright, I have money.
$120 in cash. A record high for Gabriel's wallet.
And we're about to lose it all.
Can I ask you just a few more questions?
Whatever, man.
I found out what Cabri Sankal means. How did you know about human sacrifice?
I never said them words, monsieur. You must have heard them from someone else.
This guy's full of shit.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
There's no such thing. Not around here.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? No such thing. I tell you for sure.
He's speaking so confidently, he's hiding something.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Don't talk like that around here, man.
That's a yes.
Do you know anything about veves?
Like the ones in the voodoo rituals they do for the tourists.
Right.
They curiosities, no? This a curio shop.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting. Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Man, I don't even know what language that is.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
Damballa is an African legend about a great serpent. Folklore, that's all.
Would you take 50 for Willie Jr.?
Don't insult me, monsieur. The price is $120.
What? You said you'd sell it for 100 before.
He did.
You misheard, monsieur. The price was always 120.
Ah, this guy's so full of shit. Alright, so let's hand over the money.
I have $120. You still want to sell that crocodile mask?
That's 120 sure enough. That mask is yours, sir. Here you go. Careful it don't bite you now.
Yeah, thanks.
Now don't you go forgetting your lagniappe. A free bottle of Master Gambling Oil.
The sign said I could get Lady Luck Oil instead.
Well, I was thinking a man as young as you wouldn't be needing that kind of remedy. But, you's having problems with your,
That's all right. Believe me, I don't need it. I'll just stick with this. Thanks anyway.
'Cause it ain't none of my business if you do need it now, huh?
I don't need it.
Oh, of course you don't.
You know what, Gabriel? You started that. You brought that up.
The crocodile mask is made of genuine crocodile head. It looks heavy, hot, and smelly. The small bottle is labeled Master Gambling Oil.
Alright. Let's go have a chat to Mosley, and then next time, we'll get our bracelet. Drummer's outside. Yeah, I should have had a chat to the drummer after we interrogated Crash. I feel that was a mistake. Don't suppose you know anything? I mean, you don't, but let's ask anyway.
Can I bother you again, officer?
What is it this time?
There's not actually that much.
Do you know anything about a secret voodoo houndfall?
Hound, what?
Houndfall. It's a temple.
Sounds like somebody's pulling your leg on that one.
Do you know anything?
I told you, you're barking up the wrong tree.
You sound sus.
Do you know anything about black voodoo?
Black? Voodoo? Isn't that kind of the same thing?
Actually, no.
Well, all I know about voodoo is to keep away from it, and you should too, Knight.
What do you know about black voodoo?
You keep wanting me to know about this voodoo stuff, don't you? What, do I look like someone who dance around in a loincloth to you?
What you do on the weekends is your own business, sir.
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
Can't say that I have, but it sounds dirty.
It kinda does. Schottenjäger. Schottenjäger. Shit, something. It's alright, I know better. Let's go inside the office and have a chat to Mosley. Why did you close the case?
Knight, hate to tell you this, but you're out of a book. The Voodoo Murders case has been closed.
I had a feeling you were gonna say that. Son of a bitch.
What's with this music?
I have to tell you, bud, I'm pretty pissed off about this case being closed. You guys are making a big mistake.
Hey, I'm not any happier about it than you are, Knight, but I've got my orders.
Alright, we'll end the video after this, but he's getting the orders from higher up to close the case. They want it shut down. And if you've happened to watch my playthrough of the original or played it yourself, we understand why.
Do you know anything about veves?
What?
Veves. They're ritualistic patterns used in voodoo. You know, like those marks we found around the body.
You know what the department says about that, Knight? That voodoo stuff is faked.
Yeah, well, they're wrong. These veves...
Look, just stop worrying about those marks. I don't think they're relevant.
Oh, they're relevant, dude.
What do you know about black voodoo?
Black voodoo? Sounds like a put-on to me.
Have you ever heard of Damballa?
You mean gumbo?
No, I mean Damballa.
Never heard of it.
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
Oh, come on. Somebody's pulling your leg, Knight.
Are you sure?
Ain't nothing secret about voodoo in Narlands. There's a museum, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but that's the stuff they want you to see.
You're getting mighty paranoid, Knight.
You sound us. How do so many people know about the word houndfall?
Can you tell me anything about a secret voodoo hound fall?
I told you, you're nuts. Drop it.
I mentioned that on the original playthrough as well. The word houndfall doesn't mean anything to me out of context, but everyone in this game understands what it means.
Does the name Ogun Badagri mean anything to you?
Say what?
Ogun Badagri. It's a voodoo loa.
Speak English or shut up, Knight.
Sorry, didn't mean to confuse you. Guess I'll take that as a no.
Mosley, have you heard anything about the Lord of Destruction?
Have you ever heard of a Schottenjäger?
No? Is that anything like a Chuck Yeager?
I don't think there's any relation. Have you ever heard...
Not since the last time you asked.
Tell me about yourself.
What do you want to talk about that for now? We're not doing the book anymore. Besides, you already know too much about me, Knight.
We do. We know too much about each other.
Are those new shoes?
Hey.
Mostly.
Yeah.
We've seen all that.
What's the status on the voodoo murders case?
The case? What case? I told you, the Voodoo Murders case is closed.
How can you just close it? It's not solved, is it?
Not his call.
Oh, it's solved. Turns out the Chicago Mafia was trying to invade local territory. Use the Mississippi for drug running now that Florida's so hot. What we had here was a little resistance from the local businessmen. Word came in this morning that the Chicago group is giving up and pulling out of Nolans.
But that doesn't bring the killers to justice.
Well, the boys upstairs seem to figure it this way. Let the slime kill each other. Better the vermin we know than Chicago vermin, I guess. The attitude in the department is that we just been done a huge favor, and they're probably right.
What about the local cartel? Are you just gonna let them go?
At least they're part of us. We'll deal with them over time. Always have. Nolans is pretty clean that way, you know?
Well, that's the illusion, isn't it?
Look, I'm not totally in agreement here either. But what can I do? These guys are not about to get caught. I'm disappointed about the book too. Look, Next big murder case I get, I'll call you in, and we'll do that one up right, okay? In fact, I could probably dig up some old cases, and you could spice them up.
No thanks.
Yeah, at this point, we're all in on this particular investigation.
What's the status on the...
I told you, it's closed.
Let's reopen it then.
What?
Damn it.
What's the...
The case is closed. There's nothing more to discuss.
Alright, so let's do it.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
Look, the department's not interested.
So, couldn't you make them interested?
With what? I got 7 bodies and still no leads. The voodoo angle's worthless, and besides, these people aren't hurting anybody but out-of-town drug dealers and hitmen.
The voodoo stuff is not worthless. It's the key to the whole thing. And these people are dangerous. They need to be stopped.
Okay, you want me to reopen this case? Prove what you just said.
What do you mean?
You need to
3 things.
prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
How can I convince you to reopen the case?
I already told you. You still need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Prove that they're a threat. Get me a lead on the cult.
Okay, well, I believe I can show you the newspaper article and the Veve pattern.
You know those marks you found around the murder victims? This is a reconstruction of the whole pattern.
What makes you think this is an accurate reconstruction?
Well, I borrowed the partial patterns from your police file and did my own tracing of the pattern at Lake Pontchartrain. An architectural artist reconstructed it for me from the partials.
Really? So this is the whole pattern, huh? That's pretty good work, Knight, but that doesn't prove that this pattern is really connected to voodoo.
It doesn't, but it's useful context, which is why we got points for it. And now if I show you this,
The newspaper clipping describes a ritualistic murder in Congo Square. It includes a rough sketch of a pattern found around the body. The sketch is very similar to the reconstructed Veve.
it's virtually identical. So here is your proof, buddy. I can actually select it.
This is a newspaper clipping about a murder committed in 1810. That murder is an exact match of the voodoo murders, right down to the marks around the bodies.
This does sound like the same MO. 1810.
1810. They killed then, they're killing now. Isn't that proof that they're likely to kill again? Or that they are a threat?
Sure, if there is a voodoo cult, they're a threat.
I think that's 1. It's interesting that the points triggered at the end of that conversation versus to Veve, which was instant.
Can I ask you about some stuff?
You're the writer.
How can I convince you?
I already told you. You still need to prove that there's a legitimate voodoo cult in Narland. Get me a lead on the cult.
So he believes they are a threat. Alright, so I don't exactly remember what else we need. I know one of the items, but the other one is eluding me at the moment. Alright, so I think we'll call it here. Next time, we'll go to Napoleon House and have a chat to Sam.